is merciful. God is kind. God is. I almost started doing the help. You know the help thing where in the book and in the movie she was like, he was kind, he was smart, he was important. But no, seriously, I was thinking today, actually yesterday, I was realizing how merciful God is. That, you know, if you look at regional areas of the world, like people think, like you go to Las Vegas, right? Las Vegas is known as like the capital that you indulge, and you know what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, or you can worship gluttony. You go to a hotel and spend $200 for a buffet, right? Or you can gamble to your heart's content. In New Orleans, you can go to Mardi Gras and you can flash people, you can get beads. You also can encounter a whole bunch of witchcraft. Where I'm from, Eatonville, Florida, you can apparently dabble in incest, witchcraft, and sell whatever drug you want, and think that you're not going to get away with it. Well, think that you're going to get away with it. And, you know, in each area of the world, you know, everybody has something that they're spiritually under. People would also say that Florida probably is highly gay because, you know, there's a lot of pride clubs, and it is pretty openly homosexual, and it is pretty open to everything, really. There's not really, like, Florida is so diverse that it doesn't have an identity. So I can't even just say that, you know, it's highly homosexual, because it's not everywhere. It's just certain areas. Just in different areas have different spirits. Just like what in Pine Hills, they used to call Pine Hills Crime City, right? If you're from Florida, you know that. But if you don't, then that's fine. It really don't matter. I'm just making a point. But anyway, the fact that, you know, God literally there's so much evil in the world, and God allows it to exist because we have free will. We have the we have the we don't have the right, but we do have the privilege to be able to gamble, be able to go to Mardi Gras, be able to get drunk, be able to be incestuous, be able to be homosexual. And I don't know if y'all read the Old Testament, but people were literally getting mauled, like, by animals. They were literally just walking around and they were getting mauled. And we're not getting mauled. We're not getting Noah treatment. Noah? Why do I keep saying Noah? No, but yeah, Noah. Anyway, we didn't have to build an ark. Because one, he told us that he wasn't going to drown the world again. But we didn't have a couple people being sent on boats and everyone else being killed off. God literally said, I'm going to get you guys right first, and then I'm going to build the church up. I'm going to give you opportunity to get right, and then I'm going to come back. And all these people that are like, oh, well, I want Jesus to come back. Oh, I want him to come back sooner. No, we don't. Because we're not ready. That's why he's not here. Like, I want an opportunity to get rid of unforgiveness. There's some times where I'll have an opportunity to sin or make the wrong decision, and I'll hear God be like, you're being prideful. You're being unforgiving. That's incorrect. Don't do that. Think about how you're responding. Think about what you're doing. And it's not like, oh, I sinned last week, It's literally, we sin all the time, and we don't even realize that it's a sin, and that literally can lead us straight to hell. And there was a day where I was just, but, and then you think about it, the how many people you see in a day versus how many people you're in with, like, day to day in your house, right? Imagine how many times that one person gets on your nerves. And then think about people outside of your family, how much they get on your nerves. And think about how many times you get mad at those people you don't know. Or how many times you get angry at traffic. And think about your responses. And it's like, we don't understand how good God is. That, my family spent years doing dirty on taxes, abusing their child, prostituting their child, just all types of evil. But they still had a house to live in. We weren't on the streets. That's mercy. He was warning them for years. He warns people for years. How do you think these people that have money galore, that have billions, that's mercy? That's not, I just built this by myself. No, that's God's mercy. He allowed you to do that. He said that you can still do that even if you don't accept me. He can tear anybody down at any point. Think about the people that were in the world and then they came to Christ. Their life fell apart before God built it up in his kingdom. And then even like these people that are like, oh yeah, I don't think the devil exists except for Christians. Yeah, because he already got you. But God is still merciful, even when Satan is your best friend. My parents could have died multiple times. There's times they could have easily died, and God used me to save their life multiple times, while they still did dirt to me all the time. That's mercy. That's literally so kind to people that worship Satan. And we literally can't forgive people, but God can still allow someone that worships Satan to have a house, to have food, to allow them to sit in a position. But yeah, that's mercy. Anyway, and people don't realize how God has literally still been so kind to them. And when he pulls that kindness away, like look at the Israelites. Do you know how many Israelites died? So many of them died. So many. Dude, like he was like, oh, y'all want food? Here's your food. They ate the food and died. Like, so many generations died off before they got to their promised land. Look at the leader Joshua was. Look at the leader Moses was. And look how merciful he was for them. He didn't completely just say, hey, how about you guys all just die? Like, he didn't do that. He gave them chance after years. And then think about if God just takes his hand away from the evil that people are doing. And some people, he is doing that too. And I don't desire that for me or for anybody. Do you know how much reverence to have for God, to see that he's so merciful and kind and sweet? But that's because we're following. But do you realize how angry he is? Do you realize how the justice is? A justice that is stronger than any justice system on this planet. And the person that the God that created the universe literally is so kind, but also so justice filled. Eternity is eternity. It is not 5 days, it is not 5 weeks. It is forever. And He allows us time to get right. He allows us time before He comes back. He allows us time before our death. He allows us time. He doesn't sleep. Can you imagine not sleeping? And they said 1,000 years is like 1 day to Christ. And we have 24 hours? Oh man. Anyway. Jesus Christ is merciful. And I have so much respect for God and so much reverence because I know what it looks like when He pulls it away. And I know what it will look like to have perfection. Well, I don't know what it looks like to have perfection in heaven, but I can feel the peace of God. And I know that I want that more than I want sin. And I pray for the church and for people to get right because the justice is going to hurt so badly, and the gifts that Satan promises are zero compared to what God brings every day in my everyday life. You know, I know what it's like to be in emotional pain. I know what it's like to suffer, and if that's what suffering felt like on earth, imagine the suffering that hell can bring. And then think about the peace that God gives and allows us to have even when we mess up, and allows us to gain with our flaws. And then He allows you to see so much and do so much for His kingdom. This world is so fruitful in comparison to what God does and what He brings and what He shows. The stuff that we worry about, like bills and who's gonna be my best friend and who I'm gonna marry and who you're gonna have sex with and who you're gonna have a child with, like, or the endless battles of how terrible the world is that's just the reality. It's a fallen world. It's gonna be it's gonna be terrible. Okay? That's just the reality. It's a fallen world. It's a world created by God, but that has Satan in it. It's gonna be bad sometimes. And we're gonna suffer. That's the reality. That's the persecution. That's the spiritual warfare. But God is so much greater, and He has so much in store, and He calls us to be so much better. And it's so much better to live with Christ than to have something fake. And the seasons are worth it, because when God broke, when situations broke, lots of people apart, and a lot of things were allowed. God used them for His glory, and He used it to grow you, and He used it to help you. Because I don't believe that God is the reason that things in the world are bad. I think free will is. And evil likes to do what it does, and it will continue to you, to everybody else, to your children, to your chose us children to everyone else too. That's the reality. But it's worth it. You give it to God because He meets you in it and He helps you go through it. And truthfully, if we knew everything that was coming, probably wouldn't stick to it, you know what I mean? You know? Or we would probably be so anticipating of what's gonna happen next that we worry ourselves, and none of those help us because our needs are this small and God is so big. So I just pray that we see God's justice and His mercy and have reverence for Him and understand that He's merciful and He cares and He's considerate and He's kind, but He also is a God of justice and He's always the same. And that's the best part, because if I show up and I'm like, ooh, Jesus, I sinned, He's not like, well, you should go over there. No, He talks to me, He hears about me, He meets me in my pain, and He meets me wherever I am, and we talk about it, and then He helps me process it, and then we move on to the next season, the next season, the next season, until the very end, and then we meet Him. So God bless you, God keep you. See you later.